Shabbat Shalom, welcome everyone. So glad to have you here in the sanctuary at Ahavat Shalom. Pleased to offer words of welcome to those watching our live stream from at home. Shabbat Shalom to you too. Rabbi Matt Berger on the bima with me is our soloist, Allison Rosoff, and at the piano, our accompanist, Joy Katzen-Guthrie. Let's begin on page 10. Here you'll find one of the Psalms, Hine Matov, how good it is. Hebrew's going to be the same in the book. English is a little bit different, and it's right there on the screen. Hine Matov, Umanayim, Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Matov, Umanayim, Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Matov, Umanayim, Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Matov, Umanayim, Shevet Achim Gam Yachad.
How good it is,
how good it is,
how sweet it is,
how sweet it is to be together on this day.
how good it is,
How good it is,
how sweet it is,
how sweet it is to be together on this day. Hine Matov, Umanayim, Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Matov, Umanayim, Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. If there are any ladies who'd like to join us on the bima to help light our Shabbat candles, you'll find the bracha, the blessing, on page 2 as we sing Light These Lights.
Hear my prayer, I sing to you. Be gracious to the ones I love, and bless them with goodness and mercy and peace.
Oh, hear my prayer to you. Let us light these lights and see the way to you, and let us say Amen. Let us light these lights and see the way to you, and let us say Shalom to all of you, and Yasher Koach, well done. On the screen, if you'd like to join me, you'll find a prayer. Holy One, protect all those impacted by the devastating fires in Southern California. Lead them to shelter and safety. Give them strength to face any physical and emotional loss. Open their hearts to turn toward each other with love, compassion, and support. Provide shelter and security for the firefighters and first responders protecting these communities. Grant them strength and courage. Let them return to their homes and loved ones safely. Baruch atah Adonai Shomea Tefillah. We praise you, God, who listens to our prayer. We'll sing Shalom Aleichem, peace be to you, Malachim, messengers, found on 24.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaSharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei HaMlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Noachem Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei HaMlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Milei Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei HaMlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Faith and Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei HaMlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Join me in a prayer for Israel. O Heavenly One, protector and redeemer of Israel, bless the state of Israel, which marks the dawning of hope for all who seek peace. Shield it beneath the wings of your love. Spread over it the canopy of your peace. Send your light and truth to all who lead and advise, guiding them with your good counsel. Establish peace in the land and fullness of joy for all who dwell there. May you bless the soldiers of the Israel Defense Forces and all who stand guard to protect our people. Shield them from all troubles and injury. Help them secure freedom without loss of life for all those held captive by the enemy. May they have strength and courage of heart. We'll continue on 26 with the Chatzi or half Kaddish words of praise.
Yitkadav, Yitkadash, Shmei Rabbah, B'yamad Yivrach, Yudhei v'yamlich malchutei, B'chayechon u'v'yamechon, u'v'chayei de kol Beit Yisrael, B'gala, B'gala, u'v'yisman kariv, V'yamaru amen. Yishmei Rabba mevarach le'alam u'lamei yomaya. Yitbarach, Yitbarach, v'yishtabach, v'yitpa'ar, v'yitroman, v'yitnasei, v'yithadar, v'yitale, v'yitala. Shemei de Kudasha Bri יברכו לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירה בעמה ויאמרו אמן.
Rise now for Shema and its blessings, which begins on 28 with the call to prayer. Yai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 Barichu et Adonai Amivorah Adonai Amivorah Leolam Ba'ed Lai 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 Continue on the screen with a translation and interpretation of our prayer, Ma'ariv Aravim. Your world is like a puzzle, God, and all the pieces fit together. The sun lights up the earth by day, moon and stars glow at night. In every season, we sense your presence. On Shabbat, we give thanks for the world and its beauty. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'ma'ariv Aravim. Continue with words of love, Ahavat Olam. Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael. With great love, you have taught us how to live with meaning through mitzvot, sacred memory, celebrations, and Torah. They are the light of our eyes, the essence of our being. Blessed are you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Sing, open up our eyes. Open up our eyes, teach us how to live, fill our hearts with joy and all the love you have to give. Gather us in peace as you lead us to your need, and we will know that you are one. Open up our eyes. Teach us how to fill our hearts with joy and all the love you have to give. Gather us in peace as you lead us to your need, and we will know that you are one. And we will know that you Feel free to be seated. On the screen, you'll see a translation of the Via Hafta, Love Adonai, written by Julie Silver. Love Adonai, your God, with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. And these words which I command you on this day shall be in your heart, shall be in your heart. Teach them faithfully unto your children. Seek up them when you sit in your house, when you walk by the way, when you lie down, and when you rise. Bind them for a sign upon your hand, that they may be a symbol between your eyes. Write them on the doorpost of your house and upon your gates, and upon your gates. Teach them faithfully unto your children. Speak of them when you sit in your house, when you walk by the way, when you lie down, and when you rise, and when you rise, and when you rise. On the screen, you'll find an introduction to our Song of Freedom, which will be special today in that we'll be singing Mi Chamocha to James Taylor's Carolina on My Mind. So join me. Sing the song of men and women, joined in understanding and respect. The song of God's miracles, an earth protected and cherished, a gift for our children and the generations to come. The song of a land once ravished by war, now quiet and content, her soldiers home to leave no more. The song of a world redeemed, the song of peace. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh, Nora tehilot osef eleh, Nora tehilot osef eleh. Machutecha rahu banecha, okei hayam lifnei Moshe, Zeili anu ve'amru, Adonai Imloch le'olam va'ed, God of miracles and might, who is like you, God, in our lives. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh, Nora tehilot osef eleh, Nora tehilot osef eleh. With a holy gust of wind, the sea parted before them. Still they didn't know just what to do. Then a man named Nachshon stood and walked ahead of them and said, "Come with me." And they said, "This is our God, we'll go right behind." Mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha neda b'kodesh, nora tehilo, osef eleh, nora tehilo, osef eleh. Hope you enjoyed that. Let's sing Ufros Leinu, words taken from the Hashkivenu prayer, which is found on 42, meaning shelter us with your tabernacle of peace. Ufros Aleinu Sukan, Sukan, Shelomecha. Ufros Aleinu Sukan, Sukan, Shelomecha. Yalai, 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 lalai, yalai, yalai, lalai, 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 yalai, 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 lalai, yalai, yalai, lalai, lalai. Ufros Aleinu Sukan, Sukan, Shelomecha. Ufros Aleinu Sukan, Sukan, Shelomecha. Let's rise for our standing prayers, the words of the Tefillah, which begin on 46. God, open our lips.
Adonai, sivatai tiftaku v'yagir tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah. El Hagadol, Hagibor, Vahanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Vekoneh Hakol, V'zocher Chasdei Avot Ve'imahot, Umevi Gula Livnei Vneihem, Lema'an Shemo Behava. Melech Ozer u'Moshia u'Magin, Baruch atah Adonai, Magin Avraham ve'Ezrat Sarah. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל, אתה רב להושיע, משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מחלל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומחיים אמונתו, לשני עפר, מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומדום מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהלוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש.
Feel free to be seated. Let's continue with a prayer for Shabbat on page 55. Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat. Our prayer of gratitude called Avodah is found on the following page. Blessed are you, Adonai, whose presence returns to Zion. Baruch atah Adonai HaMachazir Shechinato L'Tzion. And words of thanks, Hoda'ah. Baruch atah Adonai hatov shimcha u'lecha na'eh lechodot. And our prayer of peace, Shalom Rav, is found on 60. Grant abundant peace to Israel, your people, forever, for you are the sovereign God of all peace. May it be pleasing to you to bless your people Israel in every season and moment with your peace. Baruch atah Adonai hamvarech et amo Yisrael b'shalom. Let's sing Oseh Shalom together.
Oseh Shalom b'mromav, u'yaseh Shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
You'll find our prayer of healing, Mishaberach, on page 253. As we think of those injured in the wildfires in California, as well as those due to the skirmishes that are still going on and off in Gaza, though the ceasefire is holding. We also think of the following individuals: Carol Bates, Joanne Beeman Fiddleman, Yonatan Reuven Ben Rivka, Charlie Burke, Tina Bruns, Larry Kane, Tyler Chang, Heather Felser, Harry Fleisch, Mitchell Freifeld, David Freelander, Myron Graff, Carl Greenbaum, Don Hirschman, Joyce Holbrook, Jim Howard, Kathy Howard, Phyllis King, Irene Lipensky, Jerry Longerich, Jonathan Marks, Tova Marks, Michael Renzino, Lisa Rapolo, Stephanie Ross, Angie Sermenis, Jeff Stark, Carrie Taylor, Grace Tribbiano, and Greg Tribbiano. If there are any other names you'd like to add? Yes.
My father, George Stark. Misheberach avotenu mikor habracha limotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing.
And let us say, bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Imagine for a moment that you're curled up with your favorite newspaper, perhaps the New York Times or the Wall Street Journal. Opening up or scrolling to the arts section, you discover a book review for the following title: The Babylonian Talmud, with commentaries by Rashi and other notable Jewish sages, 20 volumes, first published in Vilna 1,400 years ago. The reviewer, named Eliezer Ben Tam, writes the following: apparently encouraged by the commercial success of the Jerusalem Talmud, called the Yerushalmi, the rabbis of Pumbedita in northern Iraq have jumped on the bandwagon with a similar enterprise known by its abbreviated name, Talmud Bavli. Mind you, if you're actually looking for brevity, you won't find any in these volumes. Although this work has its merits, one hopes that we'll be spared any further additions, for instance, the Spanish, French, or Canadian Talmuds, though there are rumors that enterprising publishers are thinking of commissioning additional commentaries in the future. One of the more consistent features of this multi-volume work are the problem of unresolved themes. Time after time, before a final verdict is reached regarding a particular commandment or mitzvah, the reader is left in limbo, only to find the question under discussion does conclude, albeit many, many pages later. I might suggest that the Talmud is fitting for those with 3 or 4 arms. Such is the nature of the text, where one needs to keep track of multiple trains of thought at once. From point to counterpoint, this exercise in rabbinic discourse is elaborated even further in the margins, where one rabbi plays the straight man, while others try to lead fellow sages into obscure tangents. In short, and the Talmud Bavli is anything but short, this work contains something for everyone. But one thing's for sure, these 20 volumes aren't for the faint of heart. Now, this irreverent review, which I've adapted from the Big Book of Jewish Humor, one of my favorites, appeared actually in a student magazine published by McGill University's Hillel Foundation in the late 1960s. The Talmud, as described in the review, is encyclopedic. This work of genius laid the foundation for every conceivable exercise in mind and logic, subsequently known as Talmudic reasoning. It's been said that if every one of us who has used this phrase read even a single page of Talmud, we would indeed be a generation of scholars. Now, I bring this review to your attention because the type of logic, argumentation, and debate found within is remarkably similar to the discussions that are currently taking place regarding a certain gesture by one Elon Musk. But before we get into that, let's take a moment to review the multitude of newsworthy events that occurred this week. At long last, Israel and Hamas agreed to a 6-week ceasefire, leading to the release of 3 Israeli hostages last Sunday. Emily Damari, Romy Gonen, and Doran Steinbacher are now reunited with their families. I'll ask our tech team to show a picture of the Gonen family embracing on the screen. Beautiful. Surrounded by the love and support of a grateful nation, they can now begin their journey of healing. Tomorrow, God willing, 4 additional hostages, all active soldiers in the IDF, will be released to Israel. This past Monday, our country celebrated the life and works of the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who inspired millions of Americans to fight for the civil rights for African Americans. King was a prophetic voice whose impact led to the passage of the Civil Rights Act in '64 and the Voting Rights Act in '65. That same day, of course, Donald Trump was inaugurated as president. It's notable and fitting that Reverend King's words were quoted at length during Pastor Lorenzo Sewell's invocation, which gave homage to MLK's remarkable "I Have a Dream" speech. This is only the 4th time that these 2 significant days have overlapped. Which brings us to Elon Musk's controversial gesture shared at a celebratory inauguration event. I'll ask our tech team to put it right on the screen. And this is where the multitude of tangential debates and reasoning found throughout the Talmud come into play. Why? Because some have called the gesture a Roman salute, while others have decried it as a Nazi salute. Still others believe it was an awkward gesture of communication, sharing his appreciation for Trump's supporters. Some have even noted that the gesture may well have been a presentation of Musk's autism spectrum disorder, though experts like Jennifer Vincent, a licensed mental health counselor who has worked with individuals with autism for nearly 20 years, notes that, quote, neurodivergent people are just like anyone else, and they're able to learn social norms, social context, and the impacts of their actions. In this instance, we can see how quickly a single gesture can lead to a plethora of different explanations. The Anti-Defamation League, which has criticized Musk in the past, took a more moderate tone in its post on X, which incidentally is owned by the gesturer-in-chief. I'll ask our tech team to share it right on the screen. This is a delicate moment. It's a new day, and yet so many are on edge. Our politics are inflamed, and social media only adds to the anxiety. It seems that Elon Musk made an awkward gesture in a moment of enthusiasm, not a Nazi salute. But again, we appreciate that people are on edge. In this moment, all sides should give one another a bit of grace, perhaps even the benefit of the doubt, and take a breath. This is a new beginning. Let's hope for healing and work towards unity in the months and years ahead. I must admit, my initial reaction to this post was outright shock. How could the ADL give Musk such a free pass? On multiple occasions, he shared or retweeted anti-Semitic posts. Additionally, he's removed nearly every conceivable guardrail that would rein in hate speech on his platform. Then I followed Executive Director Jonathan Greenblatt's counsel. I took a breath. Given the many anti-Semitic incidents since October 7th, it seems like the ADL was trying to serve as an umpire in this case, to use a baseball analogy. In essence, they're trying to call balls and strikes in real time, and that's no easy feat, even if there's some improbable logic at play in the ADL's response. Perhaps we'll never know what was going on in Musk's heart that day, but sure enough, he showed his true colors once again yesterday when he posted an incredibly offensive and irresponsible play on words on X, openly mocking those accusing him of using a Nazi salute with horrendous puns. In one fell swoop, Musk referenced Hitler's deputy party leader, Rudolf Hess, Nazi propagandist Joseph Goebbels, Gestapo leader Hermann Göring, and Heinrich Himmler, who was in charge of racial extermination efforts throughout the Holocaust. Regardless of how you feel about Musk's genius or business acumen in the fields of space travel, battery storage, boring, or car manufacturing, trivializing the Nazis or the Holocaust is never acceptable. And it sends a very clear message to neo-Nazi groups across the world that this type of behavior is acceptable, and we cannot let this type of endorsement stand. The fact of the matter is that more young adults than ever don't even know that the Holocaust occurred, or that 6 million Jews were killed, along with hundreds of thousands of minority victims, such as gays, lesbians, people with disabilities, Jehovah's Witnesses, and Roma. Coincidentally, just this week, the ADL published its worldwide report on Jewish hate. It's called the Global 100 Index Survey. It reports that a striking 46% of adults across the globe harbor deeply entrenched anti-Semitic attitudes. They had 11 different markers that they were following. An alarming trend led by younger generations. In the past decade, the number of people who hold anti-Semitic beliefs has more than doubled, now at 2.2 billion people. Only 48% of respondents throughout the world recognize the historical accuracy of the Holocaust. These beliefs, of course, skyrocketed after October 7th. It's become crystal clear that anti-Semitism is a global emergency. We need much more education, additional safeguards on social media, and new security protocols to prevent and respond to anti-Semitic hate crimes. It's no wonder that anti-Semitism is found at so many colleges and universities, frequently in the guise of pro-Palestinian protests. Thankfully, many Jewish students have courageously sued their universities under Title VI laws that prevent against discrimination. The most recent settlement, finalized this Tuesday, addresses Harvard University's violations. I'll ask our tech team to show a very nice picture of Cambridge, which Click and Clack, one of my favorite people on the radio, the Tappet brothers, always referred to as my fair city. Under the new guidelines, Harvard has agreed to include Zionism alongside Jewish and Israeli identities as a protected category under its non-discrimination policy. And the university has accepted the International Holocaust Remembrance Alliance definition of anti-Semitism. These are positive steps in the right direction, especially in light of the fact that in 3 days we'll honor and observe International Holocaust Remembrance Day. There's no question that we're living in delicate times and that people are on edge. This doesn't mean that we're without recourse. Justice can and will be served. Colleges and universities can be held to account. Hate crimes will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. And we as individuals and as a Jewish community can learn about and maintain situational awareness while here at the temple or in our daily lives outside. May God grant each of us resiliency, spiritual strength, and courage to face the modern world and all its challenges with open eyes, with hope, and yes, even optimism. Shabbat Shalom. We'll continue now with the words of Aleinu, the adoration found on 282. Anyone who'd like to help open the ark, you can feel free to come forward. Hopefully we'll get one or two folks. Let's rise for the Aleinu prayer.
Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon ha'kol, la'atit gdula le'otzer breshit, shelo asanu gilyeh haratzot, ve'lo samanu kamishbechot harama, shelo sam kelkenu kahem, ve'gor aleinu kechol hamanam, ve'anaknu korim u'mishtachavim
Say Yasher Koach, well done. Feel free to be seated. Let's turn to the words of Kaddish Yatom, Mourner's Kaddish, words of praise. First, in the period of Shloshim, first 30 days of mourning, we think of L. Bruce Greenberg, beloved brother of Jeff Greenberg, Herb Bloom, husband of Barbara Bloom, Yusef Ziadni and Hamza Ziadni, Israeli hostages who were killed earlier this month, Danny Morris, beloved husband of Mary Morris, and Christopher Segalini, friend of Alicia Gonzalez. We also mark the yahrzeit anniversary of passing of loved ones. This Shabbat we remember Lillian Bandes, Rose Barnett, Ann Barron, Murray Becker, Ruth Beckman, Mary Bahar, Henry Bild, Jack Birnbaum, Corporal Al Bloomberg, David Borrell, Sidney Brownstein, Cynthia Chastain, Catherine Cusick, Dudley Davis, Eugene Deutsch, Alfred Edinger, Philip Fox, Stanley Franklin, Maynard Freeman, David Goldstein, Hilda Herman, David Herstreet, Carl Hock, Shirley Jacobson, Dora Jacobson, Robert Kaplan, Jessica Katz, Charles Kern, Molly Klein, Laura Leibowitz, Bruce Leibowitz, John Lubotsky, William Manis, Nick Martin, Helen Matskowitz, Theodore Pori, Seymour Regent, Hal Rosenberg, Jack Ross, Joseph Ross, Minerva Rothbart, Muriel Schwartzstein, Saul Werboff, and Paul Zelensky. Are there any other names for yahrzeit? We say Zichronam Livracha. May all of their memories continue to be a blessing in their loved ones' lives as we rise to offer these words of praise together. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, v'yalmad divrach Yerutevi amlich malchutei, v'chayichon v'yomechon v'chayei d'kol beit Yisrael, v'agalau b'zman kariv v'imru, amen. Yehesh, Rabba mevarach le'alam u'lamei al-maya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal, shemei d'kudashah b'richu. Le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, ta'amiran v'yalma v'imru, amen. Yehesh lama Rabba min Shemaya, Chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. Osei shalom b'mramav, hu ya'asei shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. May the one who causes peace in the heavens cause peace to descend on us, Israel, and the world, as we say, amen.
V'imru, 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 amen. V'imru, 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 amen.
Feel free to be seated. Join Allison and I in the Shabbat Kiddush for the fruit of the vine. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kedishanu b'mitzvotav v'rata banu v'shabbat kodsho v'avahu v'rakson in hilanu zikaron lema'aseh b'reshit yihuyot tekilah lemikra kodesh zecher l'tziat mitzrayim kibanu haparta yotanu kidasha mikol ha'amim Kochka, Ahava Uratzon, Im Chaltanu, Baruch Atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. Chaim to life. All right. Anyone want to join us on the bima for the motzi, blessing over the challah? Motzi lechem min haaretz, we give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rise in song together as our joyful prayer is said. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. It's time to call forward for some Shabbat announcements. Brad Wexler, who's also on the tech team, and Susan Herron, representing the Jubilee Gala Committee.
You want to go first? No. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Many thanks again to Rabbi Matt and Allison and Joy for leading a wonderful service for us tonight, along with our tech team, me and Barbara, and greeters Vince, Steve, and Jay. I'm sure they're wandering around somewhere. Support JWI's I Support the Girls initiative this month by donating bras and hygiene products for Pinellas County homeless shelters to our collection box in the lobby. The Brotherhood's Book Club will meet this Sunday at 10:30 a.m. for breakfast and a discussion of The Resistance, a thriller, with author Peter Steiner joining on the Zoom. Also on Sunday, our situational awareness training, which includes a lunch sponsored by Brotherhood, takes place at 12:45 p.m. with John Murtaugh, Synagogue Community Network's Regional Security Advisor. Rabbi Metz's next Torah Today, class is Tuesday, January 28th at 1 p.m. in person or online. And join us on February 1st. Sorry, there's a typo. For Sisterhood Shabbat. RSVP for Shabbat dinner at 5:30 p.m. The service starts at 7:30 p.m. Our annual Mitzvah Day will take place on Sunday, February 2nd. There is a great social action projects for kids and for adults. The last slide in tonight's service features a QR code linked to support the Jewish Federation of Los Angeles Wildfire Crisis Relief Fund. Following services, please join us in the social hall for our own Egg Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you, Brad. Hello, everyone. As Rabbi said, I am Susan Herron, and actually I'm one of 3 co-chairs of the Jubilee weekend. Paula Rossoff and Arlene Lowett are my partners in crime. And what we're doing is, on every Friday night, we're trying to let all of you know how wonderful a weekend we're going to have on March 7th and 8th. And just to tell you a little bit about me and why I feel so compelled to be part of this process and part of this temple. My husband David and I moved here in 2010. We have a daughter and family in Palm Harbor, and we also have a daughter and family in Chicago, and there was no contest in terms of weather, so we wanted to be here in the warmth. And when we set out to look for a temple to join, We wanted something in close proximity to where we lived because we really wanted to be involved in the synagogue, to make friends, to be part of the Jewish community. So I did a little of the research and went to different temples in the area. And when I made an appointment with Rabbi Klein, and I was very impressed very quickly with his warmth and the inclusiveness that I felt. And after hearing all about the programs and how many things were going on and what you could do at Temple, I mean, you could be here every day of the week, you could be here almost every night of the week. I just started to get a feeling of warmth and friendliness, and I felt that I was going to be sort of coming home. I grew up in West Hartford, Connecticut, and was in Temple there for, my whole life. And it felt the same way. And then Rabbi Klein invited David and I to a Friday night service, and everybody in the service was asked to turn to each other and then turn to the person in back of them and to say hello. And so we all did that. And all of a sudden I said to myself, this is it. This is where we want to be. And I have to say that after all these years, nothing has changed. We feel the same way. And actually, when I look at all of you on such a freezing cold weekend, and I know all of you who are watching us in the warmth of your homes, it's the same feeling. You don't have to be here tonight. You could be home, you could be watching, but you want to participate. And that's what's so important to us about this temple. And after 50 years, we still are the same as 25 years ago when we were here. So we're encouraging you to participate any way that you feel comfortable. Friday evening, we're going to have a wonderful Oneg Shabbat after our service. There's going to be music, and there's going to be children participating, and we hope that all the parents and any grandparents will want to come and listen. And then on Saturday night, we're going to be at our Day of Country Club, and I know that you've been getting emails and you see all of the information in the Friday night service booklet, and that's just going to also celebrate all together a dinner. There'll be dancing, we'll do some little bit of some fun speeches, and a program that will be just a way to celebrate all of us being able to stay here, which is so amazing to me, still a standalone independent temple in Pinellas County. And that's because all of you participate, give of your time, give of your heart to be part of Temple Ahavat Shalom. So Shabbat Shalom, and I hope that we will see all of you at one part or every part of the weekend that will be coming up March 7th and 8th. Thank you.
Thank you, Brad, and thank you to you, Susan, for sharing your connection to the temple and your feelings about our wonderful community. We're going to conclude our service with the words of Yehu L'Ratzon. May the words of our mouths and the meditations of your hearts be acceptable to you, our God, Rock and Redeemer. Yehu L'Ratzon, Imre fi, Teyon libi lefanecha. Yehu L'Ratzon, Imre fi, Teyon libi lefanecha. Adonai Suri, Adonai Suri, Adonai Suri. Adonai Suri, Adonai Suri, Adonai Adonai Suri Vego Ali Iu Leranzo Imrefi Yom Libi Lefanecha Iu Leranzo Imrefi Yom Libi Lefanecha. Shabbat Shalom, each and every one of you. Thanks, Joy. Thanks, Allison.
Thank you, Rabbi. Joy, thank you. That was beautiful.